I would like to further add that um, when you're dealing with people, the main thing is what you get out of it, what benefit one gets out of shared information or shared knowledge. So let us say a person were to invest 5, 10, 15, 20, or a lifetime into the study of esoteric subject matters. Let us say that they became an expert at such matters. When that person, let us say that person goes to, let us say, university to teach. Now, and let us say they're teaching occult studies at a university, and whether it is from a sociological point of view or religious or theological point of view or a historical point of view, it doesn't really matter. But the point is, let us say that they are teaching this, imparting this esoteric knowledge, and let us say that the information is quite complex. Now, how many of those students that do that particular course or study is gonna say, oh, okay, um, I'm coming out of college and I'm gonna become an esoteric master, or I'm gonna, I'm gonna teach occult studies, or have any interest in occult outside of that course. No, I mean, you'll be lucky if 1% take it further. But nevertheless, the point is they learned it. And even if they learn it on a cursory level, was it fulfilling to them? I can't dictate what one's fulfillment should be, because a person might just do a, a person might just have a conversation with me where I discuss, let us say, the plutonic solids and their correspondence or relation to tarot symbology. And that might be enough for them. Nothing is wrong with that. It might be a case where I might have a conversation with a person, and in that simple little conversation, it is some part of it they might seem profound, and it might change their life, and it might change their life in a positive way, but it does not necessarily mean they're going to carry out occult studies for the next 20 years or until the day that they die. Okay, for example, when they talk about, like, some people would say John the Revelator, who was exiled to the Isle of Patmos, and he received these visions and he wrote them down, and thus resulting in the book of Revelation. Now, the book of Revelation is a big part of Christendom. Now, theologians will study the book of Revelation along with other courses of theological study. And while they're studying this, they're in a nice, comfortable dorm room or their nice little apartment, and they you know, is in a nice, comfortable, air conditioned um, hall or library. It might be a case where they may go on to um, be in some religious organization, Christian, for example, and they may speak at a church that's air conditioned, comfortable pews to sit in, a nice mic and organs playing, and nice stained glass windows and nice lighting, and an enjoyable, overall pleasant, relaxed, safe experience. Whereas, what did John the Revelator or John have to endure or possibly endure? He had to depend on food that would have been brought to him by Christians. He was in exile on a hostile environment. I am sure that the clothes he had on, if any, were crude. I am sure that his eating utensils, if any, were crude. He didn't have a refrigerator. I'm sure that wherever he slept, it was crude. He was alone on the island. Visitors could not stay with him. He was exiled. But yet the writings that are attributed to him has passed down, and here we are generations later, people are making multi-billion dollars off of his writings. And does that mean now that I am supposed to go and exile myself to the Isle of Patmos? Or if I'm interested in Revelation, I'm supposed to, to have somebody throw boiling oil on me? No, because that's allegedly what happened to him. That he was putting up, I think, a pot of boiling oil and he didn't die, so they exiled him. It's irrelevant whether it's true or not. The point is, am I supposed to do that? Am I supposed to endure the hardships of John the Revelator? Or reenact them in order to get something out of the book of Revelation? Absolutely not. If it is true, he did it so that in the grand scheme of things, he did it so we didn't have to. When one goes to a theological to church and listen to someone preach, they don't come home and say, okay, I'm and ponder the book of Revelation for the rest of their lives. No, they take what they take from it and use it, and then they move on. So ultimately, it boils down to the individual. Another thing, when persons go on social media, social media influencers are just that, social media influencers. They're not adepts. There's and they what they're doing is fine because they're just social media influencers. The people who go on social media to consume social media aren't going there to on TikTok and these various um, social media platforms. People aren't going on them to become adepts. They're going to get a quick hit and that's it. But nevertheless, I maintain that everyone starts somewhere. Someone had to been introduced to occult studies at some point. No one starts an adept. But where one starts, one studies, and where one finishes, and what one gets out of it is purely subjective. Not negating what the author is saying in his points. Actually, I agree with him pretty much 100%. But nevertheless, there are alternative views, and that is why I'm putting an alternative view. It's not just one way. Because I take a cursory glance at occult studies, and I might, as far as I might take it, I might just be happy to learn the history of, say, tarot, and then I'm good. But that doesn't mean that I'm a shill or a person. I might just teach tarot, the history of tarot, in the basic fundamental principles of tarot. Does that mean that I'm a shill because I don't go into the deeper studies and take it to where let us say the Golden Dawn would have taken it? Remember, tarot existed before the Golden Dawn. Tarot existed long before any of these esoteric organizations that sprung up afterwards. But anyway, I'll leave it there.